Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to round number 9 from Monza, coming to you live here this evening with my broadcast partner here, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome.
Yeah, 8 rounds in the books. Two drivers out this season have gathered points in every race. They're named Kevin Kirkbride and Zach Heffner. They happen to both be teammates. One of them leads the championship, and their team leads the team classification. So 4 races left to go. I don't know what the heck these other drivers are going to do to try to knock them off the pointy end of the grid there, Al. But they're running out of time.
Yeah, they certainly are, and these guys are on their outlap here at Monza. Take a quick look at the track map. Just 6 corners here. Some familiar names. This is the 1966 layout, Curva Grande, the Lesmos, and of course the final long right-hand corner, Parabolica. Some familiar names, but let's jump on board with our championship leader, Kevin Kirkbride, as he makes his way out of Parabolica and onto the main straight here at Monza.
Yeah, an important qualifying session here for all of these guys, and then more so really than Kevin Kirkbride. The times are going to be very close around here tonight, Al. So, boy, already have some lap traffic jumping out in front of Kevin Kirkbride. I don't know if Traskell sees them coming. Not exactly diving out of the way as Tom Traskell, really interfering with this. Oh, boy.
Yeah, I am not sure what Traskell's thought process was there, but there are a lot of guys mixed up in that incident. So let's jump on board now with David Zahn has made his way through that mayhem there at entry to Curva Grande and see if he can finish this lap for us.
Yeah, well, coming through Lesmo 1, he's going to give away here to John Houston. No doubt David Zahn had to contend with a lot of smoke and fire there.
I'll board with Houston now. He's got one going. Jeez.
It's pretty ridiculous. Look, the track is only 6 corners, right? Actually, this corner is pretty difficult to pick up here. I don't know if this is actually a star. You want to look for the end of the guardrail. It kind of helps you discover your turn-in point, but other than that, kind of blind. And really, one of the most important corners on the track is, in terms of overall lap-to-lap pace, is the Parabolica and the braking zone in particular. You want to look for about the 4th light post on the right to begin your braking sequence, but that doesn't guarantee you really anything, especially if you are trying to dive in there to gain position on arrival. It's very difficult side by side, but nonetheless, didn't get a good look at this track, but the times are going to be very close in this qualifying session. That's the main takeaway here from our initial offering, Al.
All right, so John Houston settles in with a, what was that, a 129.3. It's John Watson now to provisional pole with a 128.4. Lemansky now takes that over with a 128.1. Looking at the laps here in practice, guys dip into the 27 and a half for Phil Vitt. There somewhere. Oh, he just set provisional pole with a 28 flat. So Vitt looking very racy here for sure. Lemansky looking quick as well. Jake Feimster now right behind his teammate in 3rd. Aaron Parsons currently in 4th. The bevy of traffic at the opening start of the opening to this qualifying session as Philippe Samard is quick in sector 2 on the entry into Parabolica.
It's not a terribly short track, and it's pretty wide, but you get a lot of traffic around here simply because there aren't many corners to break people up. That's also why the times are so close. You can only get around these corners so well, right? There's only 6 of them, so those times here tonight and lots of traffic.
Samard improves to a 27.8, snatching provisional pole away from Phil Vitt. Vitt is even through the first 2 sectors, so he's looking potentially to improve on his lap here.
About Parabolica, Phil Vitt putting in that best time in the week of practice. Besting Samard doesn't look like it's going to happen this time. Al, big slide through Curva Grande's implement that. Parabolica.
That Parabolica is very tricky to navigate.
You know, I ran some recon laps in this 312, Al, and It's damn treacherous. It's as difficult a corner as any of the classics we have run. The braking, very tricky, and then picking up the throttle. It's usually one or the other, but this car, you have both ends of it. Very difficult.
So Vitt did improve. He drops into the 27s with a 27.91. Moses improves his time. He's up into 10th with a 28.5. And he just threw it wide off track here. He's kept his foot in it. Who's that that's gone by? I believe that's Houston who got past. Vitt is still out there plugging away. He's quick in the first sector.
Now again, put that best time up in the week of practice by about 1/10 over Samard, thereabouts. So we assumed that he could potentially have a little bit of pace on Samard here tonight, but still have to get that lap, and it is 18 minutes to do it.
Got a car off stage left. That's Mascarelli.
Choosing to run only 4 gears as Phil Vitt. That did seem to be the fast way around for me as well.
Relatively clean through Parabolica. Dropped a bit of time in sector 2 as Vitt makes his way in to finish another lap here and does not improve.
I gave up 2/10, but finished only less than 1/10 off of the full time. So should be able to at least get that provisional full time if things stand the way they are.
With Jake Feemster. Quick first sector. Then off in the second sector.
Feemster running a 5th gear. Going about 3.5 light posts. That's pretty deep, but he holds it nicely.
Just audio here. Hopefully that's better. So Jake, he is not going to improve. Mark DeGraw currently slotted into 6th with a 28.3. Personal best so far this session. Joe Moore improves to a 28 flat, good enough for 4th. Hefner has jumped up to 3rd. Hefner is 3rd in the championship standings, just 2 points behind Philippe Samard in 2nd. Oh, DeGraw looks like he is on an outlap. Jake looking quick again in the first sector. Now Phil Vitt takes provisional pole with the 27.697. Things looking up for Vitt at the moment. He's over 10th quicker than Samard here in this session.
Yeah, pretty darn close to his server best time as Phil Vitt. Just needs another 10th or thereabouts.
So Jake this time is hanging on to 4th gear. Oh, now jumps up to 5th. 2/10 off in sector 2 is Jake. And navigates Parabolica pretty nicely. And Jake will not improve. He's going to stay in 8th. A little surprising. He looked pretty good there through Parabolica. Matt Taylor, last week's winner at Mosport. Pretty dominating win for Matt. He is now up to 2nd.
Yeah, we've seen.
Go ahead.
We've seen the weight have a bit of an effect here, I think, but doesn't seem to be slowing down Matt Taylor too much with those 20 kilograms. Kurt Pride, perhaps different story. See him languishing back a bit. He has 35 kilograms. So, but Matt Taylor really good with that 20.
Taylor on an outlet. Phil Vitt actually has some ballast as well, and Hefner may improve here. Lemansky just jumped up to 2nd. Hefner now to provisional pole with the 27.666. So by let's see, 0.03 of a second quicker than Phil Vitt.
His best time of the week.
These last 2 weeks, the lap times have been very, very close here. as Joe
Yeah,
LaCour is quick in Sector 2.
yeah, we would really expect to see that on this track, the times being very close, as mentioned. So they're about, 14 seconds, covered by about 0.8 of a second down to lap to position 14. Top five covered by less than 0.2 of a second, so you know it's close. These guys
Now Joe
battling.
LaCour to provisional pole with the 27.556. So,
Wow, and
very quick times here. Alan Jacobs quick in the first sector. He was out last week and is back. Had a second place finish at Silverstone a 3 weeks ago. And carry on that momentum. Here's 0.3 off in Sector 2, making his way into Parabolica.
a lot of room for improvement here, clearly. This Parabolic is so important for your, if you want to, nail a really good lap, and it's such a difficult corner to get right, but I think he's in for some improvement now.
Let's see, this should bump him up a few positions at a pretty good Parabolica, and yep, good enough for 10th at the moment. Yeah, you talked about Kirkbride. He is languishing back there in 11th on an out lap. And he's about to start a flyer. Joe LaCour is looking quick yet again. And maybe helping his teammate catch a draft here. Samard back in 6th. Looks like they timed that. And Joe LaCour improves again to 127.405. And yeah, there you go. So Joe LaCour pulls over, towing his teammate. So they kind of timed that pretty well.
Yeah, well, that's a heck of a time. So that's the best time we've seen over the course of the week. By a really pretty large margin, considering the closeness of the rest of the gaps.
It's the quickest lap we've seen on this server as Samard, Sector 1, 1/10 off.
Now, these cars, of course, will pick up a pretty big draft. We'll be talking about that more during the race, but it could pay some dividends here in qualifying if teammates get it right.
Chris Moses remains back at 14th. He finished second last week at Mosport. Phil Vitz green in Sector 1. We continue to watch Samard here. Oh, yeah, he lost a boatload of time there in the second sector, so he was 1.1 off. Let's jump on board with Vitt.
Traffic up in front. John Houston well and truly up there in points, but provisionally only 15th. I suppose if Vic gets off of here, well, he could pick up a draft. I think that's how Joe LaCour managed to put down that lap, Al. I think he got quite a bit of a draft coming down the back straight. Ooh, Vic gets out of it.
Oh, yeah, he does back off.
Right in the middle of the racing line for some reason.
So Joe LaCour is leading, followed by Hefner. On a flyer. He's got some traffic up ahead of him. Well, looks like they pulled out of the way for him. 0.2 off in Sector 2. Ooh.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, that's not going to help. Caught a bit of the grass on the outside on entry to Parabolica, so he has to get off of it and try again. So Vitt currently 3rd, Lemansky in 4th. Matt Taylor's been pushed down to 5th, followed by Samard in 6th. For the time being, he is 0.2 off through Sector 2, and again, him and his teammate Joe LaCour drafting each other down these straights, timing it appropriately to get it done. Moses has jumped up to 7th. So what can Samard do here? And it doesn't look like he's going to improve. He's going to stay in 6th. Now Kirkbride has jumped up to 7th. Towing around 35 kilograms of ballast. Moses to 8th with 15. And he's coming to the line now, but it does not look like he will improve. We'll stay on board with him. It is not. McGrath in 9th, followed by Jesse Olsen in 10th. John Wathen currently in 11th. Jake Feimster 12th. Alan Jacobs on an outlap in 13th. Aaron Parsons, without any weight, currently back in 14th. Brad, a little surprised by that, as is his teammate behind him in 50.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Honestly, you can only do so much with the setup around here, so I don't even know if it's set up. It's lack of practice. I don't know. Al.
Thomas Schubeck in 16th. David Zahn filling in for Greg Myers in 17th. Gary Roth in 18th. Joe Leckman 19th. Ryan Story back in 20th. Lou Mascarelli in 21st, followed by Chuck Carter, Tom Trasco in 23rd, Iggy Chiordia 24th, and Sean Ricker serving a penalty back in 25th. So Vic continues to be quick in the first sector.
Yeah, got it a little wrong coming off of the second Lesmo there, so it's losing some time. Actually, flipped the Armco a little bit, but continued on, so I'm going to assume that his damage is pretty minimal. Trouble with even small taps of Armcos around here is that you're generally carrying so much speed. The sim just doesn't really like that, and motors tend to kind of pop very easily.
Yeah, so Bet loses a bunch of time in Sector 2. Lemansky's looking quick, and I think Lemansky is off, so he's throwing it off track.
Oh, yeah.
Jesse Olsen currently in 10th, and he's a bit off in Sector 2. Doesn't look like he will be improving his time here. We'll have another go at it. 7.5 minutes to go in the session. So no improvement for Olsen. Guys on outlaps. Looks like Joe LaCour is about to start a flyer now with his teammate Samar just ahead of him on track. Bill Vitt up in the first sector. Oh, and he takes it off. Samar has gone green in Sector 1.
Yeah, it's been a very fast and furious qualifying session here. I think everybody's trying to figure out how to get down to that Joe LaCour time now. All these guys feel like they can, and I guarantee you, every single one of them right now is thinking, boy, if only I can get Parabolica right this time. Every single one of them has thought that, Al, no matter how well they did it. Every single one of them think that, you know, there's got to be another 10th or 2 there.
Smart, very good first and second sector. French Connection looking to lock out the front row here. Joe LaCour provisionally on pole. His teammate currently in 6th. Oh, and he took it wide on exit of Parabolica. That might have been it for Samar, and he will have another opportunity, but cost him too much time. That slight mistake there.
Choosing to continue on a little strangely. I'm sure that he lost some pretty good momentum banging off the Armco there.
Kevin Kirkbride now and Hefner helping each other out. So Hefner into Parabolica.
I think this is exactly how Joe LaCour got his lap on the line. I didn't see him coming down the backstretch, but I saw him advance through some traffic through Parabolica, and that could very well have been traffic that he used to gain an advantage on the back straight. 4 tenths, a pretty big advantage for Ian Joe LaCour in the last sector.
On board with Kirkbride, and he's going to get a tow. He's got a bunch of traffic up ahead, but should not be an issue.
That paid massive dividends there, up 2 tenths entering Curva Grande.
Kirkbride up to 5th. To the Lesmos. Good first sector for Kirkbride.
Yeah, and continuing to be pretty good. Gonna have to get off Lesmo 2. Does not quite get it.
Let's see if he keeps his foot in it through here. It sounds like a little bit of a lift.
Yeah, I actually had the pedal app up, and according to the pedal app, he was flat. But sometimes it can have variances in there. Ooh, takes it about 3 1/4 posts. That's very deep. Oh, maybe too deep. Oh, and missed the ship. Oh boy, that was ugly.
Only 2/10 off. I can see what that costs him here. Crossing the line. It does. And his teammate Hefner hanging right with him. It's pretty interesting watching these teammates finesse their way around here.
Yeah, very difficult to coordinate, and honestly, maybe one of the few times you want to try to practice that a little bit, in maybe in your official warm-up session, something like that, if you're going to do it.
Hefner up in sector 1. Very nice exit out of Lesmo 2. Got that one right.
Yeah, he sure did, and that's an important one. I mean, you're more or less flat all the way up to Parabolica, right? So
just a little bit of time in the second sector. Ooh, once again puts a wheel on the grass, but he kept control of the car this time by. Pretty nice exit out of Parabolica.
I think there's too much time lost on entry, Al.
So does Hefner improve? It was not. Times have not seen much change here within the top 10. It's still Jolicoeur, Hefner, Witt. Witt coming to the line, just unable to get that second sector nailed. Under 3/10 off provisional pole is Phil Witt. Mansky looking very quick here. This guy to keep your eye on here tonight.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, very clearly, and looking good in the week of practice as well, and pretty strong last week.
1/10 off sector 2. Ooh, comes up on some lap traffic there. I believe that was Chuck Carter.
Nothing to do for that. That was just bad luck.
Yeah, some bad timing there for Lemansky. That is too bad. DeGran now is quick in sector 1.
Still, according to the Performance Delta, ahead on his time. Leaking some back through Parabolica, is on pace to pick up perhaps a little bit, Al.
Yeah, he might pick up a spot here on Kirkbride. Pretty good exit. No, he does improve his time, but not going to improve his starting position. Samard now. This could be very close to provisional pole for Samard. A pretty nice exit out of Parabolica. He was even through the first 2 sectors. And he is going to cross the line. Ooh, lost some time there in sector 3. So he moves up, bumps Lemansky down a spot, moves up to 4th. The session is over. Jolicoeur, your provisional pole consider Taylor on a flyer here. He's 3/10 off in sector 2.
Yeah, I was going to mention Taylor is still out there. Slightly ahead of his best pace.
Moses is out on track as well. As is DeGrasse,
Nice.
so these guys still have time to put in a good lap here. So Taylor is going to come to the line and not going to improve. DeGrasse throws it into the pit lane. Chris Moses, and he improved his time. He just might bump DeGrasse down a spot. He does not. Got it all wrong there in sector 3. Parsons, however, good here. Pretty good first and second sector. What can he do? And he bumps Moses down a spot, so Parsons up to 9th. And Joe LaCour, it looks like that's going to be it, Brad. Joe LaCour taking pole here tonight with a 1:27.405, the fastest lap we've seen up to this point. Got a couple guys on track, but they are not going to be able to get a lap in. Just doing some recon laps as the session now switches over. So yeah, Joe LaCour, your provisional pole, your top qualifier here tonight. Great job by Ian, 1:27.405. Hefner and Vitt rounded out your top 3. Nice lap by Phil Vitt for sure. Probably a little surprised. Thought he might have had it here. It was really quick all the way in the week up leading up to tonight, but still starting on row 2, not too shabby for Vitt. See, sorry, go ahead.
In the end, Al, just to wrap up real quick, it was a big draft Ian got, so the time's all relatively close, but a nice, fortunate, lucky lap. Not that Ian couldn't have gotten pole anyway, but that made all the difference in that session.
Yeah, it was very well judged and coordinated by those two guys, so nice job on them. Okay, last time we ran here was back in season 30. Chris Moses actually took the win from pole. That was in the 312T. A little quicker. These cars are going to be starting 3 abreast here. 3-2, 3-2 is the grid position here. So your top 3 are going to be starting on the front row. John Houston second. Matt Taylor took third. So the race was only 26 laps. Tonight's going to be 35 laps, a little bit longer. And those lap times were a bit quicker, by about 5 seconds over the more modern 312T, but they should be pretty quick, probably around 45 minutes, 50 minutes. So we got some time here real quick, running down the point standings here for Monday nights. Kevin Kirkbride, your leader in the Drivers' Championship with 140. Philippe Samard in second with 116. Zach Hefner third with 114. Matt Taylor up to fourth after last week's win with 92. And Joe LaCour in fifth with 91 after getting pole here tonight. The team championships podium hunters, they kind of, after last week, they running away with it a little bit here late with that Zach Hefner and Kevin Kirkbride with 254 points. French Connection, Joe LaCour and Samar with 211 points. T-Brock, Dan Bam, John Houston and Aaron Parsons a bit further back with 158. Followed by Captain Clutch, that's Matt Taylor and Mark DeGraw with 148. And Precision Motor Racing has finally cracked the top 5. Chris Moses and Thomas Schubeck with 90 points. That's your championship standings here for season 33 through 8 rounds. And how much time we got? 2 minutes. We're going to run down the starting order for tonight's race. In pole position, Ian Joe LaCour, I believe that's his second of the season. Going to be starting on the front row, followed by Zach Hefner out of the USA. Starting second, Phil Vitt in third, Canadian, followed by Philippe Samar, another Canadian, in fourth, and Kevin Lemansky from the US in fifth.
Matt Taylor is going to take 6th. Kevin Kirkbride put in a fine time for 7th with those 35 kilograms. Mark DeGraw, another Canadian, starts 8th. The competitor from down under, Aaron Parsons, starts 9th. Chris Moses takes 10th.
Jesse Olsen out of the U.S. in 11th. John Wathan, 12th, U.S. USA Jake Feemster, 13th. Also from the U.S., Alan Jacobs in 14th, and David Zahn from the U.S. in 15th.
John Houston races out of Canada, but have put in a time only good enough for 16th. Thomas Schubeck, 17th. Gary Roth, also Canadian, starts 18th. Joel Ekman is in 19th, and Brian Story takes 20th.
Chuck Carter racing out of the U.S., 21st. Mascarelli, 22nd from the U.S., 23rd. Tom Traskell out of the U.S. from Argentina. Iggy Chiordia starting 24th. And 25th, Canadian Sean Ricker going to be starting from the back due to a no-qual penalty here tonight. Brad, any predictions for tonight's race? This three-wide starting grid.
These guys are going to have to very much watch the draft effect. And also there's been some note of some kind of strobing connection type stuff running up close on cars. So these guys are going to be very careful here in these opening laps. Try to get sorted out in single file.
That's just the nature of the track, or the game rather, as have a look down into turn 1 here at Monza as we are about to go green. And we are away. Great start here from Joe LaCour and Phil Vitt. Phil Vitt potentially jumping out to the early lead here. Makes his way into Curva Grande. Ooh, we got an incident further back. It looks like Chuck Carter perhaps.
Yeah, Lou Mascarelli,
Mascarelli, yep. Those guys all tangled up. Oh, Phil Vick gets it wrong, and Hefner nearly follows him off track. Ian Jolicoeur is going to take over the lead. He's carrying a little bit too much speed through there. Phil Vitt looks like his suspension is straight. He should be okay. Samard has jumped into second. It's Joe LaCour, followed by Samard, Vitt, and Lemansky now up to 4th, Taylor in 5th. As the group of cars makes its way down into Parabolica for the first time. These guys running way wide, and some more contact. It looks like Moses, perhaps. Yes. No, Moses is okay. Looks like that was Schubeck got tangled up further back with somebody. Yeah, these guys are really driving with some reckless abandon here, Brad. And some other cars off further back. It's like Parsons was slow.
Yeah, they are dicing pretty well, really up toward the front, as well as the draft effect does rear its head. Taylor going for and taking 4th into turn 1 over Phil Vitt as well. So Phil Vitt sliding through the order.
Yeah, he's dropping some positions now. These guys making their way into the Lesmo. Right on the inside at DeGraw. Looks like he got that pass made. There's Thomas Schubeck back in 17th as these guys got all bunched up.
Yeah, I assume something did happen to Moses. Moses into the pits. Hefner into the pits.
Yeah, it looks like Moses and Hefner did have some contact exiting on the exit of Rettifilo. Oh, who is that? Is that... Somebody is off. It looks like that's Chuck Carter. He is off track and damaged. It looks. I didn't know if that was one of the front runners here. Chuck Carter has called it a night.
Boy, the battle over 4th right now is very heated, and we are going to have some drafting strategies to get through Parabolica coming up.
Side by side with Taylor. Getting a go off of Taylor. I'm sorry, Kirkbride. And Taylor's going to hang on to that spot.
Right now, if you're Kevin Kirkbride, I think you have to be pretty happy with running fourth. But what's going on up the road, Al? Looks like there is a fight for the lead between those teammates up there. Oh no, that is the lap car Chris Moses. Excuse me. Or soon to be lap car.
Oh, Olsen with a bit of a mistake, going to give open the door for Jake Feepser. Get a run on him. Is Jake going to get it done? He does. So he takes that position away, and Jake moves up to 8th.
I need to enjoy this action now. I foresee many body parts flying around this circuit here in the near future.
So Matt Taylor has gotten past both. Well, spoke too soon. Oh, who is that? Somebody's turned around. Oh, that's one of the Team Global Sites cars as Taylor, Vitt, and Kirkbride continue to exchange positions here, drafting down the straight. By side at the Curva Grande. Taylor tucks in behind Phil Vitt. Phil still carrying a lot of steam, and as Kirkbride takes it wide, Vitt takes over 4th. Who's had a great start is John Wofton. Wofton started a little further back, now currently running in 7th. Close to the back of Taylor. We got one car off. It looks like that's Alan Jacobs. Yep, Jacobs with suspension damage. So it looks like he got it wrong in the Lesmos and banged the wall.
Yeah, John Waffen probably as good a start as anybody in the field, really. So, yeah, nice to be up in that 7th position for John Waffen.
Let's see. Yeah, Chris Moses is a lap behind Samar. That's got to be rather frustrating, but any word on how far these guys can go on tires? I mean, can Moses take it to the end? We'll float it up with fuel and take it to the house.
Well, I don't know what the fuel situation is like, but I would assume that they can make it just fine on tires, Al. Shouldn't be a problem for them. The fuel situation, I'm not 100% sure on that. But I kind of tend to think they could.
Parsons drafting Jake Feemster. Feemster trying to pull a draft on Mark DeGran. It looks like he may get it done. Wow, carrying a lot of speed and hangs on to it. These two still side by side into the Lesmos.
Aaron Parsons, a guy you would typically kind of peg to be a potential winner of this event, particularly not with an excessive amount of weight strapped on the car or anything, but just has not looked very sharp, has he, Al?
No, he has not here in particular. Now Wathen's starting to close the gap up on Matt Taylor for 6th.
Sure is. Inside that draft, that's going to do wonders for you picking up ground on the guy in front.
We got a car off, and it looks like that was Chris Moses throwing it off. And Phil Vitt has, oh no, I'm sorry, I think that was Lemansky who threw it off. And Kirkbride and Vitt get past Lemansky. Lemansky losing out on a couple spots there after that mistake at Parabolica.
If you're Kevin Kirkbride right now, all you want to do is stay out of trouble, and it's just hard with these drafting maneuvers.
Oh, Kirkbride takes it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Kirkbride has taken it off, and looks like he may have dodged a bullet here as steering is straight. Kirkbride, the only driver so far this season who's completed every lap. Last week had an incident with Joe LaCour. and managed to stay on the lead lap and just dodged a bullet here again by tagging the wall, but coming up without any suspension damage. Parsons has gotten past Teamster and has moved up to 8th. Teamster running close behind in 9th. David Zahn now a little further back, closing up on Joel Ekman for 11th. Draskell out, Chuck Carter out. 25 guys start the race. Two guys already have pitted for damage. Hefner, who is back in 23rd, and Moses in 21st. Now where is Ricker? Ricker back in 18th. He started from the back, was wondering if he was going to be able to pick up some spots here after the start, but unable to up until now. Just a couple positions.
Looks like he has some suspension damage as well, so that wheel not tracking quite straight. That has probably hampered his ability to get through a few cars in the back.
Giordia running nicely in 12th, being chased by David Zahn. Inside, outside, but nothing there.
Yeah, David Zahn once again getting plenty of practice laps in for this event, so he should be pretty good to go. Was looking very sharp at most part, but was a recipient of some unfortunate accidents there he couldn't avoid.
Yeah, that was a tough start for Zahn. He had a lag car at the start of that race that really gave him some problems there at the start. Unfortunately, Zahn was caught up in it. But is he going to get enough of a tow here to make a move on Giordia into Parabolica? It looks like he may. Right ahead of them is Ekman. Nope. He tucks back behind Giordia.
They played it pretty cautious there. As the driver on the inside, you almost have to be more careful than the guy on the outside, because the grip at the front, you can lose it so quickly and slide out and take the guy on the outside out. So that's actually a pretty good move to back off a little earlier.
Go again, Zahn on the inside of Giordia. Oh, it's a contact! Big impact! Zahn gets it spun around Giordia. Giordia is off track, and I'm not sure what happened there. They were very close together. I don't want to say Zahn, I don't want to pin it on Zahn, but to me it looked like he tried to set up a little too wide and had some contact with Iggy. Unfortunately, Iggy's suspension damage doesn't look like there's any there. Zahn, on the other hand, he might have a little bit of damage. Looks like the car, the wheels tracking left a little bit. Maybe not. No, looks like they're both okay, bro.
Yeah, I think Zahn unfortunately did drift a tiny bit farther. But yeah, unfortunately, hopefully those guys can both recover.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me, for sure.
So Kirkbride now is rotated back to 7th, so behind Wathen. Did you catch that?
Yeah, well, Kirkbride had that off, so Wathen, a few guys got past him. So Wathen up to 6th and has been trying to close the distance on Taylor, but has gotten close a couple times, but unable to really get past, get into the draft to have an opportunity to get past. Taylor running in 5th, got Moses between those two guys. Moses is a lap down. Oh, well, we got a little bit of a breather here. Our leader, Ian Jolicoeur, Currently making his way through Parabolica to lead to close out the 9th lap of the race.
Yep, and if you have a moment, we might as well activate that boom replay, Al. If we're gonna have it, might as well use it.
Yeah, I'm not. That's not probably not going to pick up that incident with Zahn. I think it's a little too late.
Yeah.
But
it's too late.
Yeah.
No question about it.
But Samard, his teammate, 2 seconds off of Joe LaCour. Phil Vick now running 7 seconds off of the leader in 7th. Lemansky, who had it off, got back in front of Taylor and Kirkbride and is starting to close in a little bit on Phil Vick. Talking about Taylor in 5th, walking right there in 6th. Kirkbride running in 7th. And not far off of Kirkbride is Parsons, DeGraw, and Feimster now have closed up and running nose to tail. From the back we got Zahn, Mascarelli, and Brian Story. Story last car on the lead. Actually, no, I take that back. Jacob is, but Story having a look on the inside of Lou and gets that pass made. Moves to try to chase down Zahn, who is the last car on, last points paying car in 16th. Back to the DeGraw and Feimster fight. It is Feimster trying to chase down DeGraw in the draft. Joe Ford just set fast lap of the race with a 28.453. You guys in the 28 so far.
Yeah, plenty of individual battles going on as Feimster's takes a quick look. We would be saying, actually pit stops are going to be coming up before too long, but I don't think that's going to be the case here tonight, Al. I think these guys are going to stuff it as full of fuel as they can get away with and take it as deep as they can. And there is some question as to whether these guys can make it 35 laps on fuel, I think. So we'll see how that strategy plays out.
So getting back to the start of the race, saw some guys really, saw Pitt take it off, or guys making some mistakes here to start on coach tires. I'm gonna wonder how much of that came down to this Kirkbride and, well, very tight Kirkbride. Moses in the middle, he's a lap down. Kirkbride getting a run here on Watton into Parabolica, really carrying a lot of speed as these two go side by side into Parabolica. It is going to be advantage, perhaps, Kirkbride. I think Moses just threw it off. And Watton's going to have a counter.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the whole deal, particularly with the Kirkbride weight. I mean, it obviously is not helping Kirkbride.
Whoa! Whoa! Watton almost got it sideways on the straight. Watton gets the pass made. Oh, that's like that. Position gained, another one lost, and not even a half a lap.
Yeah, Watton sure does want to try to get away here through the Lesmos enough to where he can. That is not going to happen. Big correction and slide by John Watton will keep Kirkbride plenty close going into Parabolica to make the same move again, perhaps.
Kirkbride had a pretty big one himself, but Parsons has joined the fracas. And now running in 8th, closing up on Kirkbride. But yeah, going back to my earlier point, it looked like, the amount of fuel, I know these guys are probably running really heavy, coming out of qualifying, not used to that weight on the car and the difference in braking distance. I know I caught some of these guys out in the early going here.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's probably exactly what it came down to, Al, actually. Yeah, I suspected Parsons would be looking okay in the race despite not having such a good qualifying effort.
does
there's
some
only
kind of defensive moves here. He does not. We're going to go side by side yet again as DeGrasse does fast lap of the race into Curva Grande. Let's see. Oh, Watson getting it sideways. Holy mackerel, that was close.
About a millimeter away from disaster, no question about it.
Oh boy. And now Parsons going to have a look into Parabolica. Watson really driving the wheels off that thing. He is all kinds of loose through some of these corners. DeGrasse right there, he's running quick. He's fast. Just a fast lap of the race behind these guys. Samard looks like he's had a mistake and he has dropped back to third.
Oh yeah.
Between Vitt and Lemansky.
Yeah, my bad. I dropped the ball on that one. I should be looking elsewhere. Well, you got that other battle going on.
It looks like rush hour traffic here going into Parabolica. Oh, Watson throws it off. This left is breaking a little too late. He's come back on, but has lost at least 3 positions.
Yeah, that's not the worst mistake in the world to make. You can rejoin the fray, come out behind somebody, and hopefully pick the graph back up, right? Try to work your way back forward. So, could be worse. Doesn't have the suspension damage. Samard into the pits now, so that mistake he made must have been disastrous enough to need some repairs.
Certainly, he wouldn't be in this early unless he's running some kind of different strategy.
Yeah, and if the other guys do take it deep, Samard is going to be in some traffic. You know, one would think he's going to be in some traffic. Could hold him up a little bit. The podium hunters here, that second part of podium hunter, Zach Hefner down there, still in 22nd, has not gotten any relief from that position.
No, he hasn't, has he? He is, he's come out, who is that Samard?
Yeah, it is. He's in 14th, and,
he's pulled the chute. He's done. He's done.
Weird.
Yeah, he just pulled it off and called it a night.
An emergency phone call, or?
Well, that team championship is looking less and less likely for the French Connection, as it is up to Joe Lacour now to carry the banner for that team. We're watching this battle between Vitt and Lemansky. That about 2.5 seconds apart. These two are. Vitt coming up on, it looks like that is Sean Rickert in, no, I just take that back. Looks like that might be Jesse Olsen back in 19th. So Olsen looks like he's had a problem. We got Houston now in 11th, about to make a pass on Ekman, and he's gotten the pass made.
Yeah, next target for John Houston is the 9th position of John Wathan, but that is a solid 18 seconds up the road at this point. So big gap there. Pretty close back to 9th from 1st all the way to 9th, but then a big gap back to John Houston. Oh, very weird. So you didn't see anything from Samard, huh?
No, it looks like he just pulled it over and called it a night.
Yeah, that's very strange. I mean, they were picking up big points with Hefner back in, out of the points, right? Half that team and Kirkbright in 5th. So I thought maybe his damage didn't get repaired or the car didn't get fueled.
Word from the pit lane is some throttle issues with his Fanatec pedals. So unfortunately, some hardware problems left him.
Yeah.
That's an issue we've seen. We're not, I don't want to say some of these guys running the Fanatec pedals have run across some problems with their brake or their throttle not getting back full throttle and whatnot. So hopefully they get that figured out here. As Taylor's starting to close in on Lemansky. Lemansky is still behind Jesse Olsen. Yeah, he is a lap down. It's good help, actually. Lemansky got a toe off Olsen here going into Parabolica. You can see how quickly that gap closes up. And a lift of the throttle from Olsen. Further back, DeGraw now closing up very quickly on Kirkbride. Looks like DeGraw is going to get the pass made, but Kirkbride more than likely will respond here down the straight.
Yeah, he's going to need to with Parsons not too far behind as well. So that guy behind, the two that are fighting, also gets a pretty dramatic decrease in that gap between the two in front when they begin to fight.
Oh, DeGraw taking it very deep in the Curva Grande.
You have to be so careful and go so much slower when you're side by side to ensure that you don't hit each other.
I'm surprised Kirkbride could not get a toe off of DeGraw down the straight there, but Parsons hanging onto the back of this group of cars.
Parsons would have been a little closer had he not had to really keep that wheel angled away from the Armco as he was about to hit.
These guys, right, if they were going to stop at halfway, this would be about the time they would do it. 17, 18, something like that, Brad?
I don't think it's happening.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, if you're not taking tires, you better be staying out.
Well, we've seen the strategy up to this point where guys are just running as deep as they can and just taking fuel.
Yeah, it just seems as though we did see somebody pop in up there, but yeah, it just seems the optimal strategy to save the time in the pits with the fuel reload.
We haven't talked about Schubeck, but he's just made a nice pass on Joel Ekman for 11. So Schubeck, who's been a bit snake bit this season, has or is putting on a good show here tonight. Just one spot out of the top 10, only 5 seconds off of John Houston in 10th. So Schubeck is carrying the torch right now for PMR as his teammate Moses back in 19th. And Kirkbride, another team here. Kirkbride, the better off of the teammates here as he's running in 6th. His teammate out of the points in 20th. For the time being, we're not sure. These guys may be able to go the distance. Pitted on lap 2 or 3. Moses and may be able to get their lap back and finish up in the points. Only time will tell here.
Yeah, and I think that's an open question. I mean, it's a relatively shorter race, and I just didn't take a look at the fuel loads this week. Have any idea?
In the pits. On board with Kirkbride as DeGraw started to pull away slightly from Kirkbride. Joe LaCour, meanwhile, has just as I said that. DeGraw takes away fast half of the race with a 27.9. The amazing part about that is DeGraw is doing this in traffic. These fast laps he's running.
Yeah, again, the draft is a real thing, that's for sure.
He's quickly closing up on his teammate, who is in 4th, Matt Taylor. So he's about 7/10 quicker than his teammate overall. Brad didn't really qualify all that well, but he is flying here in the race. I mean, he did qualify in the top 10, but
yeah, I wonder if there are some setup adjustments which could be beneficial perhaps for fuel weight, right? These things we've noticed do tend to loosen up a little bit when the fuel runs out of them and become a little less stable. I suppose if you kind of plan on that, set up for that a little bit, add a little understeer early, could help you toward the end of your fuel run. Maybe that's a thing for Mark DeGraw here.
It's Kirkbride trying to make his way past Jesse Olsen. That's allowed Parsons to really close the gap here and potentially get a run on Kirkbride down the straight. Let's see how fast Parsons closes up on Kirkbride. But there's no room on track to make that move. Parsons had to lift.
You know, it's all going to be about Jesse Olsen, and when he kind of lifted, that was going to determine that whole sequence of events, because that's what everybody was kind of waiting on there for in that situation.
Working lap 20 of 35. These laps quickly winding down here. See, most sport it was what 36 laps on a full tank, so potentially these guys could go the distance on a full tank.
Yeah, we just don't know the use per lap is all. I mean, it's a fast lap, but it's not terribly short, right?
Let's see, 5.7 kilometers was Monza. It's a little bit low, about a kilometer longer than most sport last week. Ooh, we got somebody. DeGraw has taken it off. He just caught the tail end of that as he brings it back on track, but loses focus momentarily and throws it off at Parabolica, which is very easy to do here. As Parsons now having a look on Kirkbride and rockets past him to take over the 5th position.
Yeah, it does seem Kirkbride's pace actually is a little worse than it was. So maybe the cars around him burning off the fuel weight have gained, you know, kind of percentage-wise more than there was when they're relatively at the same fuel load. But but it does seem like Kirkbride's a little slower now down the straight than he was.
Oh, we got a lot of smoke here. That's Thomas Schubeck off. What happened to Schubes? Suspension damage. He's toast. That's too bad. He was having such a great run. It sucks to see that. Well, these guys now have closed up on Matt Taylor. And 4th.
Yeah, it's looking more like Matt Taylor's kind of been slowing up a little bit as opposed to these guys gaining speed. Jolie Balls is into the pits.
Into the pits. Yeah. And out. 18-second stop for Joe LaCour. He's going to come out in 8th. Interesting move here by Joe LaCour coming in on lap 22. That's going to give Phil Vitt now the lead of the race, followed by Kevin Lemansky in 2nd. Now, the question is, when do these guys elect to come in to the pits? Not sure about that move, Brad.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it either, but we do know he had a pretty healthy lead. It was, what, 12, 13 seconds. It was a healthy margin over Phil Vitt. So you'd think it would be enough regardless, unless, of course, the guys don't have to pit at all. But yeah, we've seen that low fuel time pay big dividends for some of these guys. Who knows? Maybe Vitt, Lemansky can push hard and make some good laps out there. We'll see.
It's Kirkbride with a lift there. I think he may have had an opportunity to get a run off Parsons, but looks like he's going to elect to try and get a pass made here down the main straight.
Now we'll see. He wasn't able to quite get on DeGraw, was he? Oh,
Parsons did.
Okay. Well, maybe that says something. Maybe the fuel does not go as far as we think
in the pits
or something. Yeah.
Joe LaCour now is up to 5th. Vitt loses out to Parsons. Quick stop for Parsons. Comes out ahead of Phil Vitt.
Oh, it sure does.
So very nice stop for Aaron Parsons. Well, he's kind of cagey like that. Let's just hope
no
he's taking
doubt.
enough fuel to make it to the end, but
I would think so. So, I mean, you'd think this bodes well for Ian Jolicoeur, right? That these guys are coming in, not taking it super deep to like lap 30 or something. Maybe the fuel doesn't go as far as we think, and they're going to have to come in. That'd be good for Jolicoeur, because then it's, they're having to spend more time to fuel up the cars.
Mansky now our new leader. Let's see what he elects to do here. Does he come in here? One guy who probably won't stop until the very end is Matt Taylor. We've seen him fill it full of fuel and run it till the end. But Mansky's going to stay out. It looks like Kirkbride's into the pits. So Kirkbride is in. Taylor has stayed out. Jake Creepser is staying out as well. Jolicoeur, he has stopped already.
This is actually a pretty intriguing race for position here through the top 9 or so. These positions actually very close, with the exception of Ian Jolicoeur. We saw that big gap. Everybody else very close, and we saw Aaron Parsons. Well, he's done his part, picked up a spot or 2 in that pit stop rotation.
Let's see, Watson, has he come into the pits? It looks like he has. So Kirkbride comes out, and Parsons side by side, and Parsons maintains that lead over Kirkbride after stops. So, big loser right now in the pits is Phil Vitt. Comes out behind both Parsons and Kirkbride. Let's not forget, Vitt had a little bit of damage, so he may have gotten it repaired, which probably slowed up his stop. Forgot about that. Take a look at his car. It looks like, what happened here? There we go. Yeah, he had some damage. Looks like it's still a little banged up.
Something else working in Jolicoeur's favor here is that he's not really run up on much lap traffic, so he had the opportunity coming in almost first, to really get mired in some traffic. Has not happened so much for Ian Jolicoeur. He's had pretty free run.
Moses now is up to 16th. Still a lap down. I suspect those guys are going to have to stop again, maybe.
It's just really weird to see guys coming in and not taking it to lap 30. So it just makes me think maybe they can't make that type of fuel.
Mansky, meanwhile, still running out front. Has yet to stop. Neither has Taylor or Jake in third.
The only other thing that I could be thinking is the fuel weight really did slow them on the long straights, right? So people were thinking, well, maybe the trade-off here is to get some pace, some track pace, with less fuel on board. But I'm not sure. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. The guys taking it deep, gaining so much time in the pits. It just seems that's the way to go.
It's like DeGrasse lost out in the pits as well. Houston beat him out. Houston now up to 9th. It looks like he's going to have to make a move here. He's not been able to get it done down the main straight. He's going to go side by side into Parabolica.
I don't think it's going to matter. I think Parsons is just going to pass him again, and I think that'll keep happening until Parsons manages a gap, honestly.
Big slide on throttle there from Kirkbride.
Now, of course, you want to stay in the position as often and as long as you can, because the guy who is showing perhaps better pace could make a mistake and crash out. So, but all other things being equal, I think it is going to be Parsons' position eventually.
Yeah, Parsons does get back past. Houston now into the pit, so Houston had not pitted yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Has Wathan come in? Must have, right? Maybe?
I believe he has. I'm not entirely sure. He had 130 something laps, so I'm guessing maybe. I don't know.
I think the pit time is running more like 150 or thereabouts.
Okay, probably not.
Yeah.
Let's see. Joe LaCour's stop was, yeah, 53. So. Mansky, Taylor, Feemster still out on track, yet to pit. Let's see what Fit can do here. If he can close up the Kirkbride.
I think he can, and it's going to interfere with that battle pretty, negatively for Kevin Kirkbride, as it's going to be Phil Vitt behind.
I think Vitt's got pace on both these guys. Vitt's just not close enough.
You know what? I think Vitt's gear is too short, Al.
Yeah,
I don't think he has enough. I don't think it's enough gear to be able to draft up, and it's costing him here in the race. It might be good for that single lap qualifying, right? But to try these draft maneuvers, I don't think he's got enough.
Yeah, the car's just dying there.
Yeah. Yeah, weird. I didn't pick up on that. I didn't pick up on that earlier, but that's the key, because he did show that great pace, and then we're kind of baffled in the first stint, right? Why Vitt is sliding back a little bit? Well, I think we've answered it.
So Moses making a move on Jesse Olsen at Parabolica. That is for 15th. Oh, okay. The top three now come into the pits. So Joe LaCourse takes over the lead. Olsen and Moses draft each other down the straight. Who's going to come out ahead here? Lemansky's away, Taylor's away, Feemster's away. And Olsen has gotten back past Chris Moses. 460. What a stop for Lemansky. He comes out in second. Well, yeah, he was ahead of Taylor. So, yeah. Great job by Lemansky. He comes out in second, followed by Taylor, and Parsons now up to fourth.
Picks up a couple seconds there to Joe LaCour in front. So, I mean, hey, a couple seconds gained, you're never going to turn it down, right? So,
but this battle's really tight now. Jake Feemster has stopped, and Vitt takes it a bit wide. Now it's a four-way battle for fourth between Parsons, Kirkbride, Vitt, and Jake. Jake having the best run of the season for him so far by a long shot.
Yeah, he sure is. I'm looking back a little bit further to John Wathan. I expected John Wathan to recover from that mistake we saw, but it just has not happened for him yet. Continues to run in ninth.
Moses back into the pit, so he is going to have to stop again. We suspect Taylor. This will be a very quick stop for Moses for fuel, but Ricker I don't think he'll be able to get out ahead of Moses here. But the battle now is for third. Feemster now all over the back of Vitt. Kirkbride all over the back of Parsons. Feemster having a look on the inside of Vitt. And he gets the pass made. And Taylor now in the mix. Taylor, what happened to Taylor? He must have made a mistake. He did. Parsons now up to third, so we got a five-way battle here for third.
Wow. Yeah, Taylor,
the last 6 laps. Sorry, Brad.
Yeah, they shot past. I thought Matt Taylor was a lap car or something up ahead in the distance. I was on board with Jake Feemster, but no, he obviously made a mistake coming off of one.
Ride's got anything for him. Feemster, meanwhile, has gotten past Taylor. Vitt with a little bit of a mistake has fallen off. Made a little bit of a mistake at Parabolica. And loses out a little bit, drops about 3 seconds to Taylor in 6th.
Wow.
Not close enough to challenge for 3rd.
Taylor going for the deep dive into the first corner, couldn't quite get it done. So his car's obviously still in good shape, whatever happened. I'm just so surprised Aaron Parsons has not been able to run a bit of a gap off of Kevin Kirkbride. I think these guys, T-Rock Damdam, Aaron Parsons, and John Houston, they missed a bit of the setup here this week because Kirkbride of those 35 kilograms, having no problem sticking with, just does not have the oomph to get past to secure that position. So very tense moments, lap after lap for the podium position now.
Yeah, as Kirkbride just can't get it done there. Taylor gets around Jake, you think? And Jake's should be able to respond here with moving back and forth between these guys. Yep, there goes Jake, rocketing past Matt. And it doesn't look like Kirkbride's got enough to get past Parsons for 3rd. Working lap 31 and 35. Joe LaCour, our leader. 10 seconds off of him is Kevin Lemansky running in 2nd, followed by Parsons. Right there's Kirkbride in 4th and Feemster in 5th for now.
Yeah, exactly to the point. For now, that's right.
Great question. Who can handle the pressure? Right now, Parsons is doing a great job. Well, he's in familiar territory. He's accustomed to this. Feemster, that's the wild card right now. Ooh, it's both Parsons and Kirkbride take it wide. Well, Feemster has pulled away from Taylor.
Yeah, I would ordinarily give the edge to Parsons, and I guess I maybe still do with 3 laps remaining, but Kevin Kirkbride has yet to fail to score points in any event, with his teammate now running 18th, 2 positions out of the points. And Kirkbride's looking to be the only driver this season to collect points in every event. Pretty stunning statement, that really, as difficult as these cars are. So
Vitt slowly closing in on Taylor for 6th. He's down to 2 seconds. As we look at the lap time, DeGrasse still holds fast lap of the race with a 27.9. Vitt 28 flat, quicker than the guys ahead of him.
Well, I tell you,
looks like it's going to come down to a mistake from one of these guys. And it's unlikely that Parsons won't make one. I mean, he's not immune to them, but they don't. When they happen, you got to take advantage.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I definitely give the edge to him. But nonetheless, Kirkbride, I have the Phil chiming in. He thinks that Kirkbride's gears are junk, which they may be. It's possible, but I don't think the 35 kilograms is also helping Kirkbride as well. So it's an even matchup, I think, by circumstance, because Parsons missed the setup a little bit himself. So it's really DeGrasse I keep looking back to. Boy, we saw him just starting to knife.
Yeah, DeGrasse. No, never mind. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, DeGrasse really was knifing through the field there. We saw before that those pit stop rotations, right? And he made that mistake, just has never been able to recover. I didn't keep my eye back on their eyeball on him, but he just has not been able to recover from that 8th position, Al.
Yeah, it looks like that kind of rattled his cage a little bit and got him out of the groove, perhaps. But look at this story now. Jake Feemster has closed up on Kevin Kirkbride. This is going to be for fourth. And Jake's really fast down the straights here. Saw him check out from Taylor. These guys ahead aren't going to be probably running as quick as they're battling. This is going to open the door for Jake here at the end.
Yeah, well, there's no worries whatsoever for Kevin Kirkbride now. I mean, it doesn't matter if he could even go ahead and take a chance and wreck. So with Samard and some of these close rivals not really do it, he doesn't have really that much to protect. So he might as well push as hard as he can.
Oh, as Parsons runs it wide, there's the mistake. Now Jake's going to take advantage. And is he going to get a run on? Oh, Parsons into the pits.
Unbelievable.
He didn't take enough fuel. I questioned that on his stop.
He did. I was surprised you questioned it. I'm like, I don't know what the hell Al's thinking. What do you mean he didn't take enough fuel? Of course he took enough fuel, but wow.
He is into the pits. So that moves Kirkbride up to third for now. Oh, as Jake runs it a little too deep through the Lesmos. I'm sorry, Curva Grande. We're entering the Lesmos now. What can Jake get around Kirkbride? That final podium position, working lap 34. Some traffic up ahead.
Yeah, if there's a good gap between fourth and fifth, if you're Kirkbride, maybe you go ahead and give up the positions just so you don't have to add, any more weight onto the car. But
Parsons back out in ninth, ahead of his teammate, who is back in 10th, 55 seconds off the lead. Let's see, Joe LaCour now crossing the line to start the final lap of the race. He's got a 11-second cushion over Kevin Lemansky in second. And then 21 seconds back of Joe LaCour, it is Kevin Kirkbride, followed closely by Jake Feemster. But with one lap to go, it's looking unlikely for Jake to get around Kevin. There is some lap traffic ahead for Kirkbride to navigate through.
now Feemster could potentially get into the draft coming down the back straight, but he's going to have obviously a very good run coming through the Lesmos. And frankly, Kevin Kirkbride, that's where he looks pretty good.
That's where he looks his best for sure.
Yeah.
That's where he was making up all his time on Parsons. And Kirkbride's going to get some help from Slab Car, potentially. But it's going to be Joe LaCour making his way through Parabolica for the last time to take the win here at Monza, his second of the season. Lemansky's going to take second. Now Feemster has gotten past Kirkbride.
Yeah, it's a weight move for Kevin Kirkbride.
That's what it looked like to me. Yep, for sure it is. As Jake is going to take third here. What a great run by Squeaky Wheels, Lemansky and Feemster teammates. Finished in second and third. Taylor's going to take fourth, fifth. Kirkbride giving up a lot of spots, going to finish sixth. DeGrasse taking seventh. John Watson with a strong run there in eighth. Parsons back into the pits here. He's going to finish in ninth. Houston in 10th. And a great run by Joel Ekman, going to finish on the lead lap in 11th. Let's see if we can get our... winner here, if I can find him. There he is. Ian Jolicoeur, do you copy? I think he might have us muted here, Brad. Let's see.
Who would mute us? I mean, are you kidding me?
Jolicoeur, do you copy? All right, well, it doesn't look like he is there, so that's unfortunate. Well, what a race, Brad. We're going to close it out with that. Jolicoeur taking the win here at Monza. Pretty impressive run for him. It was very tight there at the early goings, but that mistake from Vitt and Samard going out really opened the door and left a lot of cushion for him to finish this race handily.
Yeah, I mean, look, it looks like Jolicoeur had the best pace, right? Possibly at the exception of his teammate, maybe. We saw guys maybe with some questionable setups or gearing for drafting type situations, but all things being equal, I think it was going to be Jolicoeur's race if he managed to stay out of trouble. He did, right? So, no, it was a good win. Parsons, it's a very odd collapse, but it's not unlike a lot of these teams. Everybody else has been collapsing. Samard tonight, the throttle problems. Run down the list, okay? Everybody except Podium Hunters are having the problem, and Podium Hunters continue to not have problems, continue to extend their lead. Even with one guy going out, they still run a damn fine race with Kirkbride, who can basically just choose to finish in 6th. Oh, well, okay. Might as well just go and finish 6th because I got all kinds of points I can give up and I can lose the weight. And
yeah, it's a nice problem to have, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So right now they're not being pressured, and time is running out, Al. I don't know if these guys are going to be able to marshal the forces and circle the wagons, whatever cliche you want to use to be able to get these guys back in time. But it's actually a pretty good race. I had fun tonight, Al.
Yeah, it was pretty good, and a great run for Lemansky and Jake. Nice, great showing for Jake. Unbelievable run for him, finishing in 3rd. But yeah, speaking of Lemansky, next week we're going to be at, actually the next 2 weeks in a row, we're going to be at his creations. First, Watkins Glen, which he just released last week or so, and then followed up by Bridgehampton. So it's going to be a nice, fun next couple weeks here at Monday nights, running a couple tracks, U.S. tracks. Bridgehampton, I don't believe exists anymore, but pretty fun track to drive. That's in 2 weeks, but until then, we're going to be back on Thursday night for round number 9 from Laguna Seca. First time running there, the Kunos version. Jake and Jack will have the broadcast for that one. And until then, we'll be back next Monday night, like I said, from Watkins Glen. Hopefully you guys can tune into that. It's going to be a great night. So until then, thanks, Brad. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Have a great night.